Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today, me and my group would like to present a topic about certification of halal in Malaysia, the issues and the challenges. I would like to make the introduction first. My name is Muhammad NASRULLHAQ bin ZAMRY. First, the introduction with halal certificate managed by JAQIM, or we call in bahasa Malaysia Jabatan Kemajuan Islam Malaysia, or the Department of Islamic Development Malaysia. Halal words in Malaysia refers to more than ingredient that are allowed. The item used must not only legal but clean, safe, nourishing and sanitary. That is related to halal. Malaysian halal standard is designed to integrate food safety principle with Sharia requirements. There is hygiene and tight quality control measures. Malaysia has become one of the world leaders in the halal sector because every people knows when they came to Malaysia, they don't need to scare, even worry about food or anything, because most of it, the food were halal, because this is the country of Muslim. Next, I will pass to my team member.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Haiqal bin Zulkifli, and on my part, I'm going to talk about the cost to apply the halal certificate from Jabatan Agama dan Kemajuan Islam Malaysia, JAQIM. So many people think that to apply the halal certificate from JAQIM is very costly, but the cost that JAQIM charge is very modest. But the catch is, the challenge is the compliance preparation cost that behind of it. In example, JAQIM charge there are several amount of fees for different type of company or applicants to apply the certificate halal from JAQIM. First, the micro enterprise will cost the applicants for 300 ringgit. For small enterprises, it costs 600 ringgit. But the cost for medium enterprise is 1,200 ringgit. And lastly, large enterprises will cost them 2,300 ringgit per company. There are other compliant components aspect that the applicants must aware. First, the laboratory testing for the product. This procedure alone costs the applicants starting from 200 ringgit to 1,500 ringgit per test. Secondly, the cost to send the staff for training are 500 ringgit to 2,000 ringgit per person. So it means that the applicants or the employer must bear the cost of it. Furthermore, the halal consultation service also become a major challenge for the applicants. It is because for the small or micro enterprise, the consultation fees are around from 5,000 ringgit, and the larger enterprises will cost 30,000 ringgit or more. Next, the other challenge for the applicants or enterprises to bear is to maintain the halal standard. This is because to find halal supplier also a challenge for them due to the limited supply chain. This is back to supply and demand, where supplier can charge the enterprise more money due to the the difficulty sourcing of the certified ingredient. Despite the benefits of halal certification, many Malaysian businesses continue to face significant challenges during the application process. Research shows that high certification costs, strict regulatory requirements, limited halal supply, and documentation difficulties remain the most common obstacle. SMEs, or small and medium enterprises, are particularly affected because they often lack sufficient financial resources, technical expertise, and administrative support to manage the complex certification process. So, this is the factors or challenges that the enterprises need to look upon for them to apply the halal certification. Next, the suggestion that can I give is that improving halal certification accessibility requires collaboration between government and government agencies, certification authorities, and industry players. So for the financial assistance, subsidizing testing and simplified procedures may reduce the burden faced by the small and medium enterprises. Additionally, a stronger training program and clearer guidance can help businesses understand the certification requirements and improve their readiness for halal audits and compliances.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is FIRDAUS bin Mustafa. So today I'm going to explain about another factor. It's issue of a challenge. It's racialization of religion for halal. So as we know, in Malaysia we have three major races. It's Malay, Hindu, Malay, Indian, and also Chinese. And also the races is Muslims, Buddhists, and also Hindu. So our first issue is food as a cultural line. So Malaysia is being a Muslim legally tied together because this halal food isn't about the religious permissible. It's become a way of protect Muslim identity. So that's why halal is very similar to Muslim, to Malay races in Malaysia. So another factor is politics and mandatory halal debate. So politicians usually to bring up this kind of issue because the halal certification is run by JAICIM. It's a powerful government department because the government has historically been led by Malay political parties, and many minority groups view JAICIM's strict rules is the way of state enforced Islamization across the board. So next up is the high stake of hot button scandals. So because halal is very deep tied to identity for those that will producing a product, any mistake or supply chain breakdown isn't just in a regular business error. It's treated as a full-blown crisis and attack on the community. So this is what happened. So the last one, the big irony is who actually runs the market. So usually we know that in Malaysia there's so many non-Muslim produce a product for food product. So this they use for it, and then but even though that they have to follow the rules for JAICIM, so there will be strict rules, and then also to make sure they can produce a very good product and halal product in Malaysia. Okay, so for the suggestion, so the first suggestion for me is how to resolve this kind of issue. First is the focus on quality and health and cleanliness. So these are right now halal is often treated as a political boundary wall or way to say this is for Muslim and not for others. But we can use this for we can change by emphasizing the border beautiful Islamic concept of halal toyiban, which means the food is not just permissible but wholesome, healthy, clean, and ethically sources sought. And second one, give a small business helping hand. So for the small business person, for SMEs, so you can give some extra training. You can give some extra dana, some training from JAKIM, or to make sure they understand about what is halal, what they have to learn about, what is the what they have to do for make sure the product must be on halal, following the halal process. The third one is encourage teams but not turn backs. So instead of back campaigns to buy Muslim first, which actively encourage economic segregation, the goal should to be bridge the gap between capital and community. So non-Muslim business often have the supply chain infrastructure, while Muslim entrepreneurs have to deep knowledge to religious and compliance. So this is what they have to follow. They have to learn. They have to work together to make sure this kind of process is become greater and run smoothly. Okay, and then the last one, take the politics out from the food. So politics, please don't use this kind of issues to become a political issue. So halal is what we have to follow, what we have to use. They have a guideline, so just follow for everyone's sake. Even though now we know that even non-Muslim people also love to eat halal food, so because they know it's clean and it's safe. So don't disturb all kind of things. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. My name is HAQIMI SHIBLI bin ISMAIL FAIROZ. My student number is 2025-537943. So to continue with the presentation for the last issues and challenges that we've agreed to discuss on, it is related to the bureaucracy system in applying for the halal certification. So after doing much reading and research on this matter, these three are the most prevalent bureaucracy issues that we were able to identify. So to start off with the complicated documentations, we have to take a step back and understand the definition of halal. But in layman's terms, it is a product that is ensured to be safe, clean and permissible for consumption. So the question here is, how can we prove that they are safe, clean and permissible? So the answer lies to the documentations that is provided by the JAKIM's guideline. So the documentation actually includes like various papers as a proof on matters from procurement, which is we got from the suppliers and our sources, and then the staff training certificates like typhoid injection, the food handling certificates and the halal training certificates, and also like the production logbooks, like the daily records of our daily production, and various other documentation that will be able to show that the business is being conducted in a halal way from start up to the end product. So this also explains why they are considered to be time consuming and tedious, apart from having to collect and compile all the documentations from various people and sources. Their frequent visit to either the JAKIM or JAIN offices are also the reason they are called tedious. The reason for this visit is usually for the documentation check or the submission of the documents or consultation services and other professional reasons. So there were times when JAKIM bestowed authority to independent body for halal certification a few years back. This is actually a solution to the matter stated just previously, but unfortunately it fired back. Instead of easing the process for the halal certification, it actually provides opening for corruption and kleptocracy to occur in the halal field. Fortunately, Alhamdulillah, the authorities are very efficient and diligent in overcoming these problems. So just last year, somewhere in September 2025, they finally digitalized the documentation system. So instead of having to go through the hassle of sending the physical documentations to the office, so the new applicants or the already halal certified establishment owners will now be able to just log in into the JAKIM's website and upload their digital file required for renewal of the halal certificates or any matters that is related
So which means the applications or updates for the halal certificate is now just a click away from our fingers. So then a few higher institutions like UKM, UIA, these institutions are currently innovating a system to make the application system to be more viable, which means it's easier for them to keep records of the accumulations and whatnot. So the problem with time consuming is in a way solved through the digitalization of the system. But the tedious process of obtaining the documentation is still apparent. Unfortunately, hence they are still working their way around to simplify the process while maintaining the highest quality of the certification, which means you still need to provide the proof of documentation, like lots of documentation, but it will be simplified. Like maybe they are making a data pool of the certification, data pool of the whatever documentation is related to them. So they can just check the system and if they are related, then it's good enough. And last but not least, with the government's campaign to fight against corruption, JAKIM has become the sole authority as possible to issue the halal certification, which means they are the only body authorized to issue the halal certification nowadays. Thus, to further prevent internal corruption, they should enforce the anti-corruption policy, emphasizing on the core values such as integrity, deep-rooted within the staff themselves. That is all for my presentation. Thank you.
Hi, it's me again, NASRULLHAQ, and I would like to continue the conclusion or the summary of this topic. Firstly, people must be strong and patient enough with all of the challenges and the side issue. This is because in order to get the halal certification, we will already know there were too many hurdles to pass through to it in order to get it. Some was easy and some were hard, complicated and time consuming in order to follow the process. The second one, government must take proactive steps in order for people or company to get the certification, maybe not by ringgit Malaysia or we call money, but by the easiest way or effective solution on how to make the people get what they're supposed to have. Third and lastly, people already trust Malay businesses who is handled by Malay races. So no bad expectation for them because it is totally halal. But it will be much better if the other businesses that are run by the other races have the halal certifications too. No bad talks, no bad expectation, just trust that are gained from the people. That's all from me and my group. Thank you everyone.